my channel 5 Minute Economics, where I teach economic concepts in a span of just 5 minutes. The topic for today is credit creation and money multiplier, which is a topic which is studied at school level, undergrad level, and even questions are asked in many competitive examinations from this very topic. So I'll be trying my very best to simplify this topic for you. So yeah, let's get started. Also guys, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram at 5 Minute Economics. So firstly guys, let me introduce you to the concept of credit creation. So what is basically credit creation? Money is tend to be created when banks through their lending activities do a net addition to the total money supply of the economy. That is when they are creating money through their lending activities. Whereas money on the other hand is tend to be destroyed when people repay back the loan they had taken from the bank, and the credit that was created in the process is also wiped off. So these are the first 2 points. Then coming to deposits. So in modern banking system, deposits are of two types. Firstly are the primary or the passive deposits, and second ones are the secondary, also known as the active deposits. So when are primary deposits created? When a customer comes to the bank and bank opens a deposit account in the name of a customer, and you tend to go into the bank and deposit your savings in the form of check or cash. So doing that, you're creating a primary deposit. Here the role of the bank is very passive. They're just merely blocking the funds of the customer, and in doing that they are curtailing money from the circulation which could otherwise have added to the money supply. But since they are blocking the money in the bank account, they are curtailing the money supply. Here they are converting the currency money into bank money. Okay, moving further to secondary, also known as active deposits. They are also known as derived deposits guys, because they are derived from these firstly primary deposits. So here in this case, bank opens a deposit account in the name of the customer who comes to borrow funds. When you come to borrow funds from the bank for whatever activities, you also tend to open a bank account, and in doing that you are bringing back the money in circulation. So here the role of bank is very active. It is creating credit, it is adding money to the circulation from the bank back to the economy, and in doing that it is converting deposit money to currency money. So now guys, going ahead with the actual process of credit creation. So here we have assumed our CRR, which is the cash reserve ratio, which is the percentage of money which all commercial banks have to mandatorily keep with the RBI as a reserve. So our CRR is 10%. Okay, so now let's get started with Rohit. Is a guy who has a bank account in HDFC Bank, and he goes and deposits 2,000 money, his savings, in the HDFC Bank. Okay, so this is the balance sheet of HDFC Bank. We have the original deposit at 2,000, CRR is 10%, so they have to keep 200 as a reserve, whereas the excess reserve is 1800 with HDFC, right? So that 1800 is the amount which HDFC has in excess, and that it can use it for further lending to someone else. Now HDFC can create a derivative or a secondary or active, however you can say, deposit of 1800 rupees. Okay, now Abhishek comes and takes a loan from HDFC Bank of 1800 rupees, and he further gives that money, okay, to Arya in the form of a check, and Arya has a bank account in Axis Bank. So Arya goes and deposits that very check in Axis Bank. Okay, so here is the balance sheet of Axis Bank. We notice Axis Bank has received 1800 as its primary deposit, CRR being 10%, so 10% of 1800 is 180 rupees, which they have to keep as a reserve and they cannot use it for lending. Whereas 1800 minus 180 gives us 1620, my bad, which is in excess, and bank can use it for further lending it to someone else. So now Axis Bank has an excess amount of 1620 rupees. Now Ria comes and Ria takes a loan of 1620 rupees from Axis Bank and further makes a payment to Akhil, who has an account in Bank of Baroda. So now further Ria comes in the form of check. She gives it to Akhil, or maybe transfers in his account directly. He has an account in Bank of Baroda. So now the liabilities, I hope you know that deposits are liabilities, of Bank of Baroda increase by 1620. So now primary deposit of 1620 is there in BOB Bank, whereas CRR being 10%, we have to keep 162 rupees aside and subtracting 162 from 1620, we get 1458, which is the excess reserve which Bank of Baroda has, and it can further use it for lending. So this is like a process, a cyclic process which keeps on going on. Going ahead, guys, I'll be showing you a table where I have combined all the balance sheets of the banks which we just spoke about. So here you see we have 4 columns, where in the first column I have banks, then I have primary deposits, the CRR, as well as the credit creation. So initially we noticed that HDFC, the primary deposit was 2000, whereas CRR being 10%, we kept 200 aside, and 1800 was, the credit created, the excess reserve it had. Now Axis Bank took that 1800 as their primary deposit, further kept a CRR of 180 rupees and created a credit of 1620. Further, now Bank of Baroda had a primary deposit of 1620, kept a CRR of 162 rupees, and 1458 was the amount of credit created by BOB Bank. Then moving ahead, then this process will continue till the entire, reserve of 1800 is distributed amongst various banks. So here we have taken other banks and I've just shown the process. That 1415 would have been K1 and CRR, again the same process, and credit created would be 1312.20. Okay, so when we calculate all of this, guys, so we see that the primary deposit of 2000 has now become 20,000, whereas the total CRR is now 2000 and the credit created is 18,000. So you see this 1800 rupees was distributed amongst various banks, which led to a total increase in the credit created by 18,000. Okay, so you see that liabilities increase at a diminishing rate. The liabilities of the bank, that are the deposits, that they are increasing. We are seeing that every bank is getting a new liability, but you see the amount is falling. That is why it is increasing at a diminishing rate. The process continues till the entire excess reserve, what I just told you, of 1800 with HDFC has been distributed among the several banks, and the result will be that the total amount of credit creation will increase by 10 times and the liabilities will be 10 times the primary deposits. So initially from 2000 we reached to 20,000 and credit created was 1800, and now the total credit created in the economy is 18,000. We have to know the formula for credit multiplier, which is 1 upon CRR. Our CRR here is 10%, so 1 upon 10%, which will give us 10. So that's why 10 times the money has been created, because our credit multiplier is 10. So we have created 10 times more deposit and 10 times more credit because of this particular formula. So I hope you are clear with this particular concept, guys. Lastly, guys, talking about limitations to credit creation, it is not that easy how it seems to create credit in an economy. First one being availability of cash in a country. If a country has a lot of cash, the income of people will be more, saving will be more, and then obviously they will deposit more money and more credit will be created. But if an economic condition is not that good, availability of cash is not that good, credit creation will go down. Coming to CRR. So CRR is very important, factor which affects the credit creation. So CRR and multiplier, I told you the formula, they are inversely proportional to each other. If the CRR is more, the banks have to keep more money as reserves with the central bank of the country, and in doing so they will have less money to create credit. Whereas if the CRR is less, then obviously they can create more credit. Banking habits of the people. A lot depends on the banking habits of the people as well. If people are not that confident about the banking structure in the economy, they will not wish to put their money in the banks. They will keep their money for maybe daily transactions, and if they don't deposit the money, then credit will not be created that easily. Nature of securities offered. So we know that banks always lend loan in return of collateral securities. If a country has difficulty in the availability of collateral securities, it is not that easy to lend loans, and thus credit wouldn't be created that easily. Next, coming to business conditions. When the conditions of business are good, there is a boom, inflation in the economy is performing well, then obviously businessmen are more motivated to invest something, start a new thing, and for that they will need loans from the bank. But if the business structure, when the condition is not that good, there is a dull period, the producers wouldn't ask for more money or for more credit in the economy. So thus credit will not be created that easily then when the conditions are not conducive. And lastly, monetary policy of the central bank. So we know monetary policy affects the credit creation to a very large extent. I made a video on monetary policy, you can watch that out as well. So if the conditions like CRR or bank rate, which are under monetary policy, if the CRR or bank rate are raised, then banks have to keep more money as reserves, and in doing that they can be, they will have to create less money. They cannot create that much credit. So these are the limitations to credit creation, guys. I hope this video was useful for you, and if it was, do like this video, and I'll see you in the next video pretty soon.